Okay, excellent.
Okay, so let's start. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the webinar on career transition for mariners. What's next? I'm Captain Gaurav Rana, and with me I have Captain Harsh Johari, who will present the webinar. Let me take a quick poll on if you can hear me. So everyone, there is a question on your screen. If you can press yes if you can hear me, and no if you cannot hear me. One person who says who cannot hear me, Deepika, if you can just maybe ping in or put on the chat window for those who cannot hear.
Sure. Sure.
All right, great. So I'll just end this poll. Thanks everyone. Thanks for joining the webinar. We took a 2-week break in the webinar and resuming our webinar sessions again. And good to have a whole lot of participants, about 77 right now. And we look forward to more persons joining the webinar. So in this webinar, we will break this into 4 parts. Initially, I'll just tell you about the platform, especially for those who are probably using Zoom for the first time, or a webinar, or attending a webinar for the first time. It's for them, how the webinar would work as such. Second, I'll just give you a context on why we are doing the webinar. Then we will have Captain Harsh, with his presentation, and of course, we will have a assessment test for all of you as well. So please do keep a notepad, a pen, pencil handy with you. And in the end, we will have a small feedback session. So that's how we'll go. If we go on the next slide. So yes, when you all would have joined the webinar, this is the screen probably which you would have seen. And this is the Zoom screen. I just want to tell you how the platform will work, how the webinar will function. So typically, speaking rights are only given to the host and the presenter. So basically, team from Sea and Beyond, which is me, Deepika, Shruti, and Captain Harsh, will be able to speak. How do you communicate? Mainly through 2 ways. By through the chat window, wherein we have exchanged greetings, and you have put in some messages. Deepika has put in a message as well. And second is through Q&As. So you can also put in your questions, and once you put in your questions, we can then take those questions up. A small request to you: let the questions be a little bit more generic in nature, not very specific to a specific person as such. And second, if you just go through the list of questions which are already there, and if there is a question which is relevant to what you are going to ask, just give a thumbs up on that. So we know that most of the people want to ask this particular question, and that question automatically comes up, and then I'll we can take that question on a priority basis as well. So those are the 2 ways which you will communicate. Raise hand is what we're not entertaining as of now. To the next screen. So yeah, coming on to why we are doing this webinar, and this takes us back to the last webinar which Captain Harsh had done. So basically, if you attended the webinar, or if you would have seen the presentation of that webinar, the what the previous webinar, what it tried to do was It was telling you if you want to go into a particular direction, or if you want to upskill yourself, cross-skill yourself, how do you do that? So the big assumption over there was that uh, you know what you want to do. And if you see the rectangle with a oval circle around it, with the oval box around it, what you will see is that the starting point was decide on what type of jobs you are looking for. So after we did the webinar, if we go on to the next slide, after we did the webinar, what happened was that there were many queries which came to us, and some of the persons who had queried are on the webinar as well. Was that how do I decide what kind of career do I want to go? Whether I continue sailing, whether I switch to a particular kind of function within shipping, or whether I change my industry as such. So that was the kind of queries that we received. There was core confusion for many of us, regarding this topic. A lot of some emails also came through, some discussions happened. And that's when I requested Captain Harsh if we can, do something about it. And honestly, the discussion went on for a couple of weeks, and then Captain Harsh, spent quite a lot of time on it to decipher how it can be done in a generic way, which we could possibly showcase to you in this webinar, which is a DIY, which is do it yourself kind of a thing, and then how to make it more customized to you. So essentially, then to answer this particular question, we of course have Captain Harsh on our platform to talk about this. If we go on to the next slide, please. So yes, about Captain Harsh, honestly, I don't think he needs much of an introduction. I'm sure most of us would be following him, connected with him on LinkedIn, if nowhere else. But just for some persons who are probably just signed off and attending the webinars. So Captain Johri was a merchant navy captain. 18 years he spent in shipping. Then he went to Goldman Sachs, wherein he spent 9 years into investment banking. And then he's been doing leadership coaching for the past 1 year. In between, he of course took a break, wherein he did his MBA from IIM Ahmedabad. And he took a break for 6 months to upskill himself as well. He's been into corporate training, women leadership. He's a TEDx speaker as well. And he's a visiting faculty for advanced operations management for second year MBA students. So yes, thank you, Captain Harsh, for agreeing to present this webinar. And over to you, sir. We'll just can do a quick sound test for you. I'll take a quick poll. So let me just first take a poll on understanding the audience. Sorry, let me just take a poll on, and this is to the audience. What is your rank, so that we all understand what kind of cohort we are within the webinar. So either are you settled ashore, are you top 4 sailing, or at an operational level, which is either a crew or not in the top 4 basically, or you never went to sea. So we've got about 66, 68 responses now. Yep. Look forward to another 10, 12 responses. Okay, great. So we've got about 90% of you who have responded. Let me just end the poll. I'll share the results. So 73% of the audience is top 4, and about 12% are who are settled ashore, and 15% are at the operational level sailing. So yeah, that's the cohort that we have currently, Captain Harsh. And over to you now. We'll take a poll on. Can you hear me once you start speaking?
Yeah, perfect. Thanks for that introduction, and thanks to Sea and Beyond team for hosting this. And thank you for all the participants who have actually joined us today. I know it's Saturday, you want to spend time with family and friends, but you are here for a reason. You want some clarity of thought, and that's the whole intention, that by the end of this webinar, you will have enough clarity of thought to go back and decide what you want to do next in your career. We all of you are here because you have this fundamental question with you, right? What next? Some of you are already settled ashore, but you may want to progress in your career. Some of you are sailing. Majority of you have actually been out at sea and now having some second thoughts in terms of what should be my next career move and how to decide it. Is there a framework which I can use which can help me systemically arrive at that decision point? And that's the whole point of today's session. So typically what happens, right, when you are sailing, these are some of the options which are quite intuitive in nature, right? You either want to continue sailing or you want to come on shore. People who want to come on shore, again, typically get confused in terms of the options. Should I go for higher studies, primarily MBA or something in marine field? Should I start my own business, a startup or freelancing job? Should I settle in a shore job? Again, should I take a job within the shipping industry or non-shipping industry? So all these different options typically are there in front of you and you feel confused, and you also feel that there is nobody to guide me as to, okay, how should I go about, what should be my thought process and what grounds. I see so many people doing different things, so what should I really do, right? So, and the idea is that today we should be able to clear a lot of that confusion and help you set sail in the right direction, so to say. So let's quickly do a poll in terms of understanding what are the options you're considering at this point of time. So can you quickly answer this poll as to what are the options at this point you are considering? Be open and honest, whatever is going in your mind, so at least we know what is the general trend happening, what are your thought process. Fair enough, almost 90% of you voted, and looks like almost half of you are looking for some sort of shore job, and the remaining 50 half is you are either plan to continue sailing or you want to do higher studies or start something of your own, and there is a small percentage who are not really sure, which is fine, right? So wherever you are at this point is fine. Hopefully you will get a lot more clarity by the end of this session today. Okay, quickly we'll close the poll. So close to half of you actually want to settle in the shore job and remaining want to consider all the other options. And hopefully today's session will provide you some guidance in terms of what you should do next. Now, what did we do, right? This whole project, it's a very common problem, but there's no direct solution as to what should I do and how to go about that thought process. So what we did was, so I do a lot of career coaching for my clients, and we do a lot of assessments for my clients, ranging from leadership assessments to personality assessments to career assessments. So I actually looked at all the different type of tests available in the market, both in local level, global level, tests which are validated in the industry based on the back of research. I took a lot of tests on my own, and we studied a lot of assessments, saying which assessment is the right assessment, which can provide you the right framework and brings you closer to that decision point as to what you should do. And finally, I figured out one specific assessment which is very relevant and which is highly scientific, based on a lot of research. It's been produced by one of the MIT scholars. And then obviously what I did was I took that assessment, I converted to suit the format of the webinar, because that original assessment is actually online and it's a paid assessment. So we could not do that during the webinar itself. And also the way you take the test online is, there is a specific flow which is not suited to the webinar. So I took a lot of that and converted that into a webinar format, which we can do it live right now today, so that you get those answers today in this live session. And then what we also did was looked at the interpretation of those results and said, okay, what do these results mean with respect to the shipping and maritime field, right? While the results could be generic, is there a way we can interpret them to align with the shipping industry? So all this work has gone in the last couple of weeks. Obviously, the original assessment we'll share later on with you is available at an extra cost. If you want to take it, you can take it. But a lot of work has been put into just finalizing what is the right set of assessment you can take, which is scientific, backed by research, and also provides you the right framework to decide what should be your next steps. So today what you're going to see in next maybe half an hour is the result of all this work gone by in the last couple of weeks. And the methodology we have used is, we'll share you that assessment online right now. You can take that assessment very we have made it extremely simple, so that you're not feeling it sort of any sort of confusion in your mind, or you don't feel it's complicated. You can take it right now live. You can note down the responses, and then we'll walk you through the interpretation of those results. So this assessment which you're going to do is based on 5 fundamental sort of pillars or dimensions of your life, right? And more specifically about what you want to do in your career, right? So the first pillar is around success, which means that you have to give some thought. What does success mean to you, right? What do you think will make you more successful in your career, right? And then we're also looking at what does fulfillment mean to you, right? In terms of what uh, would you be doing in an ideal state to get a sense of fulfillment or satisfaction, right? Then it also based on your preferences, saying if you are given a choice between A and B, which option would you choose? And again, all these will be very individual to each one of you, very unique responses, because all of you are unique individuals, right? Dream, right? Again, in the ideal world, if everything is falling in place, so what is your dream, right? What do you want to really achieve? And finally, we all have certain things we are ready to negotiate and something we are not ready to negotiate, right? For some of you, salary may be negotiable. For some of you, location may be negotiable. For some of you, position may be negotiable, and a lot of it could be non-negotiable, right? So what are those factors? And based of these 5 pillars, the assessment will come up with its own recommendations. So it's almost do it yourself, as Captain Gaurav said. All you have to do is just give the responses, and the responses will direct you to your solution. So quick instructions just to recap, make sure you have a pen and paper ready with you. All you have to do is just note down responses, just the numbers, nothing else. Very simple format we have converted. I'll show you 5 set of questions. There'll be 8 options for each of these questions. You have to just pick up the option, just write the number. That's all you have to do. So you have to write 5 numbers basically as we go through those questions. And then in the end, what do these numbers mean? We'll tell you. Don't overthink too much. Again, think about what out of the 8 options, which one comes naturally to you, because the idea is not to just go into the whole analysis and paralysis mode that you start thinking about pros and cons of every option. No, there is no right or wrong answer. It is what you feel. It is what you feel instinctively, and it is what you feel is the strongest option for you, most dominant option. Don't try to get it right, because whatever you are feeling, just respond to that. And your answer will be fairly unique. So we are not going to compare answers at all. So when you're answering, just don't overthink that I have to figure out which one will work for me. No, which one is coming natural to you, you just put that number. And when we'll give you recommendation, you're totally free to accept it or reject it, because this is from that interpretation of the result, we have tried to interpret it to the shipping industry. Now you may say, no, this is not what I want to accept. That is fine. Or you may say, no, this looks what I want to do, and you may accept it. Right? Totally up to you. It's a framework. It's a scientifically proven model, research based, but you're totally free to take it forward or not. Okay, so I'm assuming everybody's got a pen and paper with you. You have to just note down the numbers. 5 numbers you have to note down. That's about it, nothing more. So I hope all of you are ready. We're going to start. I'm going to show you 5 slides one by one. Each slide will be 1 minute each. Unfortunately, we couldn't get a timer, but we'll time it. You will get 1 minute to write a number. Just that's about it. We'll show you a question, show you 8 responses, pick up which response fits best for you, and just write down the response. That's about it. Okay. So here we go. This is the first question. The first question is what gives you a sense of fulfillment, right? What does satisfaction really mean to you? And we are going to show you 8 options. Pick up one of the options. Just write the number 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever the number is, on a piece of paper, and that's really it. And these are the 8 options. We are not going to explain the options. Just read the options and answer this question. Your time starts now. Exactly 1 minute.
So you just need to write question 1 and then just write either one of these things, option, either 1, 2, 3, whatever you think is pertinent to you.
I'm just timing it outside.
It's not multiple choice, it's only one, and you have to write it on a piece of paper, which is with yourselves. You don't have to share it with anyone.
Yeah, it's not, you just have to choose one answer. So that's a good point actually. Yeah. Okay, I think we are done with 1 minute. I hope everybody has written just one response, your dominant response to this question. We'll move to the next question now. What does success mean to you? Again, we'll show you 8 responses. Pick up one response and write it down. Again, your time starts now. Again, be honest in answering. Don't choose the most good sounding answer that this is the best answer. No, what answer you feel is right for you. Okay, I hope all of you have got it. Just one answer for this question. Time is up. You're going to move to the next question now. The third question is, what is your dream? You know, what do you really want to achieve? And again, we're going to show you 8 options. Pick up one option which you think is your dream. Okay, I hope you got it. We're going to move to the fourth question now. What would you prefer if given a choice? So each of the options will have 2 choices, either A or B. Which one would you prefer, right? So if you were given a choice, what do you rather prefer, right? So again, you'll have 8 options. You'll have something over something. And you can pick up which one you feel or most aligned with, which option, one option.
I think in the last few options we have over a high post, which means preferred over a high post is basically.
Yes. High post means you are at a senior position in a corporation, in some company. So these attributes you prefer instead of a senior post in an organization. Okay, I hope you've got it. And finally, we'll move to the last question is what condition might trigger you to leave an organization? So what you'll see the options saying, if this happens, I'm going to leave. So the assumption is that you're working in an organization, but if any of these things happen, then that will force you to leave. So that means you would rather leave than to stay in that condition. So those are the options you will see. So for example, in the first says, if I were given work outside my functional area, then I will leave the organization. So if any of these things happen, then you leave the organization. That's the question. Okay, perfect. Your time is up. So I hope all of you got 5 responses against the 5 questions. Now, what you need to do is just figure out which response has the maximum frequency. Like, for example, do you have more ones, more twos, more threes, more fours? In some cases, you could have all the answers the same number, which is great. In some cases, you might have, let's say, 3 of the questions had a specific number of response, other ones had a different response. So note down which number is appearing maximum in terms of your response. Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? If you have all the same number, then that's fantastic. But if not, if it is not all, but yes, which one is the dominant answer in all the 5 questions? Circle that, and we'll now try to interpret what does it really mean. So that's the first thing. So if you have more ones in your responses, for example, so for all the 5 questions, suppose you have answered one where the response was the first response. If you have more ones as your answers, then it means that you are somebody to whom a technical and functional expertise is really important, and being a technical and functional expert shapes your identity. You stand for it. People know you for that, and in that case, the recommendation we have for you is in terms of next step is you should remain in the shipping industry, because whatever experience and expertise you've got, that is what you value most in your life, and you should remain in the shipping industry, and you should switch to a shore job. And the type of jobs you can take up is types of jobs like auditor or a superintendent. So that's the meaning of one. So if you've got more ones, it means stay in the shipping industry and become an auditor or a superintendent, depending on which side, whether it's you're from deck or engineering side. So remain in a technical role, a functional role within the shipping industry. Of course, there could be other jobs as well within shipping, but just some common job which you can take up. If you have more twos in your responses, right, the second choice you picked up across most of the questions, then it means that your inclination is to become a general manager and not a functional manager. You're also aiming to achieve a high position in a company like a general manager or a VP or director, and you want to manage large organizations and manage people. That is a interpretation of that response. Now, what does that mean in terms of next steps for you? You can take a shore job within the shipping industry or logistics industry. You can also try for a job outside shipping industry within operations, facilities, any such job which gives you the opportunity to act like a general manager, either in shipping or outside shipping industry. In fact, if you really think, the role of a captain also to some extent is a general manager on the ship, because you're looking after a lot of things. Same for a chief engineer as well. But here we are saying you want to manage more people, you want to be at a high position. Hence, the next step should be to switch to a shore job, and so that you can gradually become a general manager in shipping or non-shipping industry. Other thing you can also is go for higher studies preferably an MBA, because MBA helps you get a lot of general management skills, and from there you then switch over to a job based on where you get placed into some sort of general management role. So that is the meaning of if you had more responses where 2 was the answer. Now, if you had more 3s in your responses, it means that you are a person who likes to work independently, you like autonomy, you like flexibility, you like to fix up your own schedules, so you like freedom, right? You value freedom and autonomy. And typically what happens is whenever you're working on ship, you have to work under certain procedures and the certain guidelines. You have people who are supervising you all the time. So hence the recommendation, if you've got more 3s in your responses, look for shore opportunities. And some of the shore opportunity which could be possible are, you can, if you're on deck side, you can go in for becoming a pilot. You can get into consulting field in the marine industry, because consulting you can work on your own. You can also get into some sort of teaching within the shipping industry, and a lot of us are actually teaching in various maritime colleges all over the world. So you can consider all these and maybe something more as well, where it gives you independence and autonomy. So this is where jobs where you work independently and on your own. You can also go for higher studies again in this case, and that higher studies could be related to maritime field itself, because then you want to develop a practice independently and in a maritime area. That higher studies could also be an MBA, and from there you can start your own consultancy in either sort of marine or non-marine related industry. So these sort of options you should consider when your response was 3, which was a dominant response. Now, if your response was 4, most of the questions you answered 4, which means that you are a type of person who likes safety and security, you like job security, you like income security. So you like a very fairly stable job. You don't want to take any risk. And again, none of the answers are right or wrong. It is who you are. It is what you like. It is what you prefer. And if 4 is a response, that means the next step ideally for you should be continue sailing. And why we say is that, again, this is not taking into account any job demand or supply scenario in the shipping industry at this point of time. But this is assuming that sailing provides you that stability, it provides you regular income, it is a well-earning job. You don't have to risk yourself in terms of coming on shore, not knowing whether you will succeed or not. You don't have to quit and stop earning if you're going for an MBA or any other education. So if your response is 4, the recommendation is you should continue sailing, because sailing provides you that job and income security. If your response is 5, if your dominant response is 5, then you have an entrepreneurial streak, which means that you are somebody who's always thinking of new ideas, creating something of your own. You have that whole oomph in you that I want to start something of your own, right? And in that case, the recommendation for you is the next step should ideally be start thinking of having your own startup, and it could be in any field which you are passionate about. When you are getting thoughts and ideas, marine or non-marine does not matter. You could also start up a business with somebody else in your hometown or wherever you are. You can also be an independent consultant or freelancer. That's also type of entrepreneur, like that's what I'm doing today. You can also go in for higher studies, specifically in target schools which teach about entrepreneurship, right? So you can, this is very targeted area of higher studies where you learn more about how to become an entrepreneur, and then you end up starting something of your own eventually. If your responses are 6, most of the responses are 6, then that means you are a type of person who wants to serve the society, who's looking for creating a broader impact in the community, you are very philanthropic in nature. And this means that you don't necessarily have to leave your job, but if this is your strong driver, then you can start a charity or an NGO while you are sailing, and have some of your family members or friends take care of that. And then eventually you may want to run that NGO full time at some point in time. So this is where you are not looking for a new job, but eventually you want to create something of your own which serves the society, and that could be some sort of charity or NGO. If you have the response, most of the responses are 7, then that means you are a type of person who likes complex problem solving. You like challenges, and you take them head on, and that excites you, that motivates you. So if your response is 7, then the options you have is really, one is you can continue sailing, but you work on more challenging assignments, which could be sort of old ships where there are a lot of problems, because that is what excites you. You could look at sort of working on ships which are going to a dry dock and all, because those are complex operations you are trying to manage. So there is an option to continue sailing, but work on, or you can get into specialized ships like LNG or LPG and those sort of things, if at all you are from that type of fleet, uh, which gives you that challenge all the time, because that's what motivates you. Now, if you don't want to sail, in this case, the type of shore jobs you can take primarily would be into strategy, because strategy is where you actually discuss business problems and you offer solutions, which aligns with what motivates you. You can also go and do consulting for companies, especially in the SME sector, again, where these companies are dealing with a variety of problems in terms of scaling up and how to grow business, and you can help and advise them. You can also end up picking a very diverse career. Now, here I say is diverse because you like challenges, right? And picking up a very diverse career is also a challenge. Saying coming from shipping and going into very, very different career is also a challenge for me, and I'm ready for that, because that is what excites me. And finally, you can also go in for higher studies. Here again, something like an MBA, which equips you with better information, broadens your scope of thinking, and then you can start your own strategy or consulting firm. So those options are available if the response was 7 for most of the questions. And finally, if your response to most of the questions was 8, which means that you're a type of person, you like sort of personal work-life balance, you want to have, you want stability, and you are thinking beyond your career. You're not just thinking about a career, you're saying there is life beyond my career. I want to spend time for myself, doing whatever I like. I want to spend time with my family, and I want to balance my career. So you're looking at some sort of balance to be achieved. And in this case, you can consider continuous sailing as well, but work with organizations which are offering smaller contracts, 3 months, 4 months, whatever works for you, so that you are on ship for some time, and then you are able to balance that with the time onshore as well with your family or pursuing your passion. You can also join a shore job, and in this case you can consider I would say some sort of step down, in a way that, yes, I'm getting a shore job, this job is allowing me to spend more time with my family, give me more time at home, and that I may consider a job which is slightly below my rank, or where the salary is less, so you're ready to take a hit on the impact on your compensation, purely because it is offering you the option to spend more time at home and spend more time with your family. So you want to maintain a balance, and you are ready to take that hit, right? So if the answer for this is for most of answer 8. So those were the different interpretations of your responses. We'll quickly take a poll to understand what were the dominant response for all of you. You should see a poll coming up shortly.
Here you go. So let me share my response. I had 3 5s and 2 2s. And honestly, I mean, I'm just kind of matching it with what I'm doing and what I would probably have wanted to do. So to me, this looks more or less in line with what I thought. But of course, I think the real this thing would be more comprehensive as such.
Interesting to see a lot of you gravitating towards having a good work-life balance, which is fine. Again, see, as I said, there's no right or wrong. It is who you are. It is what your preference is. It is what you like in life, and it's perfectly fine. So don't worry what others have the answer, because this is not about the others. It is about you. So different people have different choices.
I think, Captain Harsh, if you can just talk about the persons who've had, 2 4s, 2 2s. I mean, or
We'll
take it in the next.
Yeah, so let's quickly close this poll. I think most of the people have answered. As you can see, there is, I think we'll show the results quickly.
Yeah.
So you can see there's a fairly fair distribution across 1 to 7, whereas close to just under 40% of you have gravitated towards 8, which means that you want to balance work, family life, and all. That's okay. Again, this is your preference, so don't worry about that. And then there is a fairly even distribution across other different choices, right? Now, Now you may say, okay, I don't have a dominant response. I have, let's quickly summarize just for before we go into that. So now, just a quick summary. If you have one, that means you should remain in the shipping industry, take up a technical role. If you have two, you are likely to go into general management. You like that actually, you can look into jobs which offer general management positions onshore, or you can go for MBA. If you have option three, then you like independence, so you should look at jobs like pilotage or consulting or teaching, or you can even go for higher study as well. Four is the only option which is straightaway option saying you should continue selling, and again nothing wrong in it. That's what who you are, that's what you like. Five is about you having that entrepreneurial streak in you, so you want to start something of your own, so start thinking about some business or startup idea if you have, or you can go in for higher studies focusing on entrepreneurship. Six does not necessarily mean you have to change your career, but you can eventually head an NGO or start an NGO for your for whatever cause you are more passionate about. Seven means you like challenges. Again, this gives you a couple of options to work on. You can continue selling. Now, sometimes those working on challenging it may not be and totally under your control. So you can also think of short jobs in strategy and consulting, or do very, very different things which give you that challenge and motivation, or you can even go for higher studies, especially in MBAs in strategy and consulting. And finally, if you had an option 8, which close to 37% of you had, you should continue. You can continue selling, but think about shorter contracts, or you can consider a show job. But don't be too choosy about the job or position and all. You can take a hit, or you should think about taking a hit in terms of either position or income. But it is considering that it is allowing you to spend more time at home. This is summary, right? Now, if suppose you didn't have a dominant answer, let's say for some it's a question you had one answer, for others you had one, which means that both the options are available to you actually, and you need to further assess. But the recommendation we'll have is that you can go and take the full online assessment. Now, what you just did was an abridged version of the assessment, made very simple so that you can take it right now live. But if you're not getting a dominant answer, then you can go and take the full assessment online, and we'll tell you how to do it. And when you take, of course, there's an extra charge to it which you have to pay to the vendor who does the test. Because when you take the test, the questions are organized in a different manner, the flow is slightly different. So it could yield, it could gravitate towards a dominant trait eventually, because it's a tested model globally, right? So the strong recommendation is you take that full test, and come up with your response. Now, of course, this is the part of the career. Now, obviously, you don't take career decisions in isolations. What are the other things you consider? You typically consider your family situation, family obligations. What is your financial situation? Health is something important for a lot of people, especially if you're in top 4 and you've been selling a lot. But again, health could be considered for all of us. What sort of personal growth you want to have, learning you want to achieve? Are you satisfied with where you are, or you want to grow further? And what are you passionate about? Are you pursuing something, or are there certain causes you're passionate about? So typically you do not take career decisions in isolation. You consider all these things also when you're taking a career decision. So we wanted to introduce something more to you. Obviously you have to consider all this while you decide that career decision. But let's first understand, for you, out of those 5 areas, which is more important to you? We'll do a quick poll. Again, feel free to respond the way you want to respond. There's no right or wrong answer. It is, it's entirely your life, right? So don't say that if I should say family. No, maybe for you at this point of time, finance is more important because you've seen hardship, right? Or for you, health is more. It could be anything, right? So don't worry what others are saying. You respond or think about what is more important to you. Okay, I think almost 90% votes are there. And again, it could be any of these choices is fine, because your choices and your preferences are very unique to you, right? Cool. So we have more than 90% of the people who responded. Let's quickly share the results. Okay, so close to 40%, say family is important, that's fine, and the others are distributed close, across finance, health, and growth and passion as well. So that's perfectly fine. This is just to get a pulse check from the audience. Now, quickly we want to introduce this concept of wheel of life assessment. So now, now you got an idea about your career, right? When you did the assessment, and you also have to consider all the other options, right? Family and finance and health and all. So how do you make the decision? This is where a new assessment I strongly recommend. It is called Wheel of Life assessment. I do that a lot for my clients. This actually helps you to understand where do you stand today in different aspects of your life. So this is an assessment. Again, it's a global assessment. It helps you to understand what are the important areas of life, where do you stand today, which areas need more focus, and helps you prepare an action plan. So while you think about the career option, which through that test, I would strongly recommend you also do this assessment so that it helps you combine these two things together and helps you make that decision, which can help you move forward. So now what are the next step for you? So one is, of course, if you have got a straight answer very clear answer in the assessment we did today, then you have your answer, you can go ahead with that specific choice. But these are something we can recommend to you in terms of next step. One is you can book a coaching session with me. You can do that online assessment. And there's an additional cost of $40. For all those who book the session, we'll share the link, and you can come to me and with that report of that assessment, and we can help you debrief and discuss and jointly agree on the next steps for you. So that is one option. The other option you can do is again book a coaching session, and I can help and do a full wheel of life assessment for you, like I do for a lot of my other clients, and help you gain clarity about where you stand today in terms of life, what is more important, and help you prepare an action plan. And the third option, obviously, we can book another a separate coaching session where we can discuss other personal professional issues, or both of these things together over a series of sessions. Idea is to help you gain absolute clarity if at all you think you are still not having clarity after this assessment, right? So all the three options available. Let's quickly understand whether you would want to go for any of these options or not. Now, if you have absolute clarity of what you need to do, then you don't have to take. But if you still feel, no, I still need some help, guidance, then the coaching service is available to you as a service, and you can actually avail that. And totally up to you. It's entirely, this is just a suggestion, right? Now, online assessment, we only recommend if you feel you don't have enough clarity. If you have enough clarity, you know the answer, you know what you have to do, you got the answer in terms of a strong 1, 2, 3, whatever the response was, then you don't have to take that. But yes, if you feel that I was in between, I have some answers for 1, some 2, whatever it is, and I think still do it, I think you should do it. That's my recommendation. And it's done by a separate vendor, nothing to do with me and CN Beyond. So you can go and do that on your own. Wheel of Life, like I strongly recommend in case you feel the need to understand where you stand today in your life. It's only recommendation. You don't have to do it. Just something which can help you move ahead.
Look forward to a few more responses. We've got about 82% responses.
Okay, this is all just to get a sense from you. It does not mean you have to do it. Just what are you feeling as of now? Okay, perfect. So I see a lot of you don't want to take the test. Perfectly fine. That's okay. Maybe you got the answer, which was the outcome you wanted from this session, and that's great. And some of you feel that some sort of coaching might help. Again, that's great. If you need some help, do connect with us. So just quickly in terms of next steps are, how CN Beyond can help, and maybe
this particular thing. If do you want to, so there are about 25% of you would want to take the assessment test. If you want to take that, maybe we can send an email to the folks who are conducting the test, and we could get a good discount for you. So to just write to us in the feedback email if you want to, and we can just maybe take this forward.
Yeah, and that also reminds me, if you want to get into a coaching session, you can book the coaching session through CN Beyond. And the great thing is with CN Beyond, we are offering a great discount to you in terms of coaching sessions. My standard rates are very different, but something very, very special I've created for this community because it is shipping community, for something very close to my heart. So if you want to book something with Sea and Beyond, more than welcome to do that. And there'll be very, very substantial discount offered to you for the coaching. Again, totally up to you. It's just a recommendation. And maybe Gaurav, you want to explain quickly how Sea and Beyond can help further.
Yeah, I think first of all, this is to the persons who have a fair bit of understanding on where they would want to go, because that's the first question which we had in our mind. Do we want to continue sailing? Do we want to get into an education? Do we want to stick to shipping? Do we want to stick to non-shipping? And when I said shipping, non-shipping, I meant the shore jobs as well, not just sailing as such. So the first thing is, if you have a fair bit of understanding through what we did right now, great. If not, then as Captain Hurt suggested, maybe we get into a one-to-one, or maybe we do a test, the real test, which is more comprehensive in nature, and then get into a session with Captain Hirsch. But if you have a fair bit of an understanding, and you know these are the two functions which I would want to go. So which might be, say, education. I want to and you are confused whether you would want to do an MBA or you would want to do a MSc in shipping, or you want to be independent, and hence you would either want to do, say, pilotage or maybe get into surveying. So that's the kind of clarity if you have. Then my suggestion over here is that you should talk to experts who are into that field and who have made it big into that particular thing. So, for example, if you want to get into pilotage, there's the Deputy Harbour Master, the Harbour Master of, in fact, Bombay Port. He's on the panel of experts. Or if you want to get into surveying, Captain Kapil Dev Bahl, who had his own firm, Murray Fenton, which was doing very, very, very big, which is a fairly big firm. So talk to him. So idea is that you talk to the experts where you would want to go, understand what are the skills required to enhance yourself, network and network with these experts, and network and understand from them whom you can network with. And you would also know the companies where you need to target, and then you start applying. Of course, through Sea and Beyond, you can also apply for various jobs, which we keep on getting. We will also help you in preparing your CV, and we'll suggest you how you can network better. So that's the other thing which you could do through Sea and Beyond as
well. Perfect. So quickly now we'll open up the question and answer. I know we are almost on time, but as I said, if you've taken the test today, if you have absolute clarity, nothing you have to do. You have to start going and acting on it. If you still have some confusion, you can take the online test, book a coaching session with us. We'll help you guys finalize what you want to do. We can do a wheel of life assessment, or you can, if you know what you want to do and you want to get into the next steps of execution, you can talk to the experts. So all the options available to you depending on what you want to do. Totally free choice. So now we'll open up to Q&A. In case we have anything, I'm going to stop sharing and take live question answers.
Sorry, I was talking on mute. The first question is from an anonymous attendee. What skills need to develop, and where will we get information about the shore jobs for 2 or 3 officers who want to quit sailing and for out of maritime industry? What all other options?
What skills need to develop? Second and third officer, is that what they mean? I think maybe.
For jobs, I think that's what they mean. Yeah.
So I think what you have to think is, okay, what is the response you got today? You did that assessment. What is the response you got today, right? And if you got, so based on that response, I would have told you that whether you should remain in the shipping industry, whether you want to go to general management. And for example, let's say, especially at a second and third officer level, typically an MBA would be very useful. So it can help you raise your profile. So if you've got an answer, let's say, which was 2, or one of the entrepreneurs answers responses, I don't know what answer was, then you could think about doing some sort of higher education, because it helps in a way provide you that leap in terms of your career. That would be my recommendation if you are at a junior level. Again, I don't know what is your response to that questions we did today, so it's very difficult to answer that, but generally at a junior level, it's good to go in for some sort of higher studies, which actually help build your profile and positions you well for middle management roles in the future.
It's a generic question from Anupam Kaushik, and maybe I'll take the initial bit. And he's asking, on which colleges do you recommend for MBA for shipping and online EMBA advised by Lloyd Maritime? So honestly, my take on this is that you should not be doing an MBA in shipping. If you want to do an MBA, you should do an MBA which is probably generic in nature, which gives you, wherein you can use your skills outside and associated industries to shipping. That's what my recommendation is. If you want to continue shipping, do courses like MSc in shipping and finance, or on maritime law, which will kind of enhance your skills within shipping if you want to stay in shipping. Online, again, I mean, I don't recommend MBA, and hence probably won't answer the second question remains answered.
Online MBAs, I'll tell you, the acceptance within the industry is not very high. Online and the distance learning courses and all, the acceptance from a recruitment point of view is not very high. So while you may do it, but you may not be seen necessarily the person whose profile is very different from what you were doing earlier. So don't just do it thinking that if I do a distant learning, again, assuming that the things will improve now, at some point physical courses will start. So don't go in for EMBA or distance learning at all. That's my recommendation.
Right. Take a question from Aditya. I'm a chief officer with master's ticket from India, currently in US on H4 visa. Would want to start working here in some time related to maritime, as there is vast coastline, but not sure how to start with.
But what was your response? Aditya, do you know what was your response? Again, anyway, I don't know about the US maritime sector. It's very difficult to say the current job situation there actually. We can actually, maybe, I don't know whether we can help connect with some expert who has knowledge of the US maritime sector at least. So, I mean, I've not worked there, so I don't know enough about job opportunities there. But I would strongly recommend, if you want to work in the US, an MBA would be very useful if you want to work from a US college.
Right. And Aditya, connect with us offline. I know a few persons who are in Merchant Navy settled in US. I can connect you to them at least, and then you could possibly take it further.
Yeah, that would be best actually.
So and to everyone, I mean, try and keep the questions a little bit generic in nature. It is difficult to answer very specific questions to all the 90 attendees, please. We can have surely have an offline discussion on this.
I know all of you are looking for answer, but a lot of times, we need to understand more about you, right? Who you are, what you're doing, what are your preferences. So it's very difficult to give you an answer which will, satisfy you, your individual specific query, right? So that's why if it is general, that's fine. I see a lot of people who are chatting saying, I have 2 2s and 2 3s and 2 4s, and that's why we recommend, because there is this lack of, this means 2 things, right? Both the options are possible for you and you still need to decide. And the other is, you can go and do that online test. It is going to cost you $40. Tell us, we'll send you the link. Totally vendor, we have no role to play in that. There's no kickbacks or anything like that. It's a fairly transparent process. International vendor. Go and do the test. Come back to us, book a session and book a coaching session. We can help you interpret that, right? So that's the best thing, so that you can get clarity.
Right, and I'll just quickly take this question from anonymous attendee. There's a female second officer. So, and your specific question is about maritime law. You can do maritime law. We did a webinar on maritime law by Solent University. We will do it again in the next 2 weeks. So connect with us, CN Beyond, to at least get an understanding of how you can do the maritime law, and maybe get a recording of that webinar and attend the next webinar. And and all your questions will, at least on maritime law, will be answered over there. Sushant's question, sir, should we go for an executive MBA or full-time? Again, Sushant, this is very, very specific to yourself. very difficult to answer that, all those specific questions for all the participants. Um, uh, Typically, to the folks who have experienced more than 5 to 7 years, I would recommend 1 year executive MBA full time. To folks who have less than 5 years, a 2-year MBA is fine.
The only thing I'll say is, see, there is a terminology difference. There is a distance learning program. There is executive MBA. There is 1 year full-time MBA. There is 2-year full-time MBA. So there are 4 options, right? Executive MBA typically means that you are working somewhere and you are attending classes in the evening or the weekend, and you are completing the course while you are working. So it is not a full-time MBA program. You're only studying or attending classes on weekends or in the evenings. Whereas a full-time MBA has 2 options, the 1 year and the 2 year. And now in India, most of the IIMs are offering that 1 year option, which is highly recommended for most of us who have experience. And IIMs are also offering the 2-year MBA. Of course, then 2-year MBA is offered by many other colleges. So we have 4 different type of MBAs. Distance learning, I would say, don't go for it. There's no, I mean, I don't see there is any market acceptance for that. Executive MBA, do it only if your company is sponsoring. Other than that, again, it just, you will add into it. But again, it's not very strongly looked upon from a recruitment point of view. So whenever you're thinking about MBA, try to do a 1 year full time or a 2-year full time.
I'll take Chief Engineer Amit and Captain Sagar question concurrently. So I think which MBA has Captain Harsh does? He's done 1 year MBA from IIMA. And the second question from Captain Sagar is whether the equivalency degree is sufficient for it. I am a 1 year MBA. It is. So over to you, Captain Harsh, if you want to add.
No, yeah, I think, see, as long as you have a graduate degree, that makes you eligible. And the 1 year MBA is highly recommended for both of you, because you must be having 10+ year experience, because Captain Sagar and Chief Engineer Amit, I think that is highly recommended. Again, IIMA is one institute. No, IMC offers, Indore offers, Lucknow offers, Calcutta offers. All the IIMs today are literally offering that 1 year MBA program, so you can consider any of those. And there is and I think C and Beyond can help you understand how to process it. But that's like every batch, there are enough shipping people who are joining these MBA programs, and I personally talk to them, and I know most of them have successfully moved on into a very different role, different industries. So again, it's not a necessity, but it's a very good way to switch over into a very different field than what you're doing today. So for all those who are experienced, 1 year MBA program is recommended if you want to do MBA.
Let's take Captain Akhil's question. Doing a regular MBA, the cost is about 30-35 lakh plus the cost of 1.5 of vessels. So that would be about 70 to 80 lakhs. You think it's worth the terms in ROI, how to approach without MBA, and then do same or regular weekend ones along with the job? Wouldn't that be worth? Interesting question.
Again, it all depends on what your response was today. I think all of you are missing the point. You are still asking the same question without looking at your response. And so somewhere you missed the whole, for those who are still asking these questions, that means you missed the assessment we did today and what your response was. You're still stuck at that MBA question without realizing whether that MBA was a recommendation for me or not. If it was, then only this question should arise. That's the first point. If the recommendation is not that, again, this is only our interpretation. You can still consider doing it. So if one of the responses is not gravitating towards MBA, you don't have to think about MBA. Now the question is it ROI and all? It totally depends on what you are ready to afford, what you are ready to let go. There is nobody can tell you what is right for you. ROI will depend on how soon you get a job, what sort of job you get. All of you, again, you make this mistake saying, give me guarantees, give me answers, and then I will do. Nobody can tell you whether you do an MBA or not do an MBA, what will your future look like? There's nobody who can tell you, right? Now, whether you want to do it or not, it is your choice. That's why we did this assessment, that is this assessment telling you whether MBA is the right option for you or not. If you have got an answer which tells you, yes, higher education is one of the options, then you can consider an MBA. Now, MBA will have that sacrifice that 1 year or 2 year, you will not get the salary. You have to be ready for that. You have to prepare your finances, and that's why I said the other considerations have to come into the picture. Whether you'll get a job, where you will get a job, nobody can tell you today, right? Anywhere you go to Harvard, you go to Stanford, nobody can tell you what job you'll get at what salary level. That you only come to know when you do there, complete the course, and that point of time. So please, all of you who are thinking of higher education, don't have this thought that give me a concrete answer that this is the right thing to do, I'm going to do it, and because somebody is telling me. No, you should say that are you ready to take the hit on salary? If your financial situation does not allow, don't take that hit. Nobody is saying to take that hit, right? Maybe post MBA you'll get a very good job and you'll recover all the money you've invested in MBA. Maybe you'll not get. So nobody can tell you that, right? Yes, your question about weekend MBA, as I said, regular weekends one, you can do it, but it will not help you get another job. That's the experience we have. So you can continue working and do an MBA while you're on shore on weekends or in the evenings. The high chances it does not necessarily qualify you for a better job opportunity. That's the whole thing. Now you want to take that, have that gap, it's entirely up to you, right?
Right. I think very, very well said and very direct that, see, there will be a risk in anything and everything you do after 10 years of sailing. And it's something which you will have to decide. We can have a detailed discussion on this, but honestly, this webinar with 90 participants is where we cannot have that one-to-one discussion.
And that's why I'm saying there is a wheel of life assessment. If you want, have a separate coaching conversation where we can get into more detail, understand where you stand, what are the various aspects of your life, where you are seeing confusion, help you move ahead. The idea is to help you, but we cannot help individually to each concerned within the confines of this platform, right? We have to have a separate discussion. And you are in that we book a lot of calls from a lot of ex-seafarers where we got into those conversations and help them take that decision. So that can happen, but not here, because each one your situation will be very individual and unique, right?
Right. Kashyap, I guess your question has already been answered. Mariners without degree, you can apply. Your equivalency certificate from Mumbai University would count. I guess your question is answered. What is your view to do shipping management post-graduation? And from Narottam Morarji. So we did a webinar on this, Pradeep. If you want to have a copy of that webinar, if you want to view that webinar, just write to us. We'll be able to share that. And if you want to compare it with something else, then we'll need to have a discussion on this. And it has to be relevant to you as well. Where do you stand? What do you want? All of that needs to be taken in consideration, please. Swastika Singh looking for technical superintendent in dry fleet. Swastika and Chief Engineer Amit. Yeah, I understand these vacancies are not many vacancies come, but through C and Beyond we have placed, if not more than at least about 15 to 20 fresh superintendents. 15 to 20 about technical superintendent, about 25 30 marine superintendents in the last 2 years or so. So stay in touch with us, register with us. All the openings which come in, we at least send an email out, and you can then apply to these openings, and hopefully we can get you an interview at least, and then things can be taken further. I hope that replies to your question, Swastika. This is a fairly long question from Abhishek Priyadarshi. He's been with fleet management for 5 years, sailing as third engineer. I believe I have figured out why and how for transition. Okay, great. I'll be going for masters in MEL in Erasmus, but I am not sure of which role I want to pursue after completion of masters. I want it to be a gradual process, and once the learning journey becomes, I will try and find where my interest lies. Okay. My question is that due to the prevailing pandemic, there is a wave of deglobalization and self-reliance. Also, the demand has slumped. In your opinion, how will that affect the shipping and logistics sector, and what will be its impact on our future prospects?
I mean, it's a very broad question on economy, which is really out of the scope of the webinar. But see, ultimately, everybody is impacted today. Nobody has any answer. That's a fact. Nobody knows how much time it will take for recovery. I may have my own opinion, Gaurav may have his own opinion, you may have his own opinion. It does not matter because nobody has any answer, right? Eventually things will recover. It may take 6 months, 12 months, 18 months. Nobody has any answer at all. So my opinion also does not really mean, because I may have a very different view of the economy. Right. Now, the other thing you're saying, okay, I don't know what I will get. Again, please, 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 all of you who are thinking of taking a break, going for studies and worrying about what job you'll get, you will not get that answer today. Nobody knows what job you'll get once you pass out from there, right? So stop worrying about those jobs. If your assessment or if your decision is to go in for higher studies, go in for higher studies without the worry of the job, because nobody can answer that question for you. The college will also not be able to tell you whether you'll get a job or not. Once you start the course, make sure you enjoy the course, make sure you network with your batchmates, make sure you network in that industry, and you will actually, through the duration of the course, figure out which is the right area for you. Or by the end of the course, you will be able to figure out on your own. There is absolutely no way anybody can tell you what job you'll get, whichever field you're going. It's absolutely a very, very hypothetical question you can ask. Okay, and I get this question a lot from ex-mariners. They want, okay, I get what job? Nobody knows. Okay, so please be a very open-minded that yes, I'm going there. I'm going for any sort of higher studies to have a different future, a better future. I will make it through. I will explore opportunities. Be ready for new opportunities. Be ready for new challenges. And you just don't know what will come to your way. And if you go and just look at the profile of people who are into shipping, especially who have done their MBAs from IIMs in India, you'll find they are doing all the diverse things, from banking to sales to consultancy to business. You know, people are just doing all these different things. So many options open up for you, but those are, nobody can tell you today that this is what you will get at that point of time when you graduate. It's something nobody knows the future, right?
Right. We'll quickly take the other questions, guys. A little generic in nature. Sajid, question is the advantages of Extra Master. It is mostly to get you into educational jobs, or maybe jobs related to regulatory bodies. That's what my understanding is. But howsoever, if you want a detailed answer, I'll request you to connect offline with CNB on once.
And especially if you did the test, if you had got that answer where it says being independent is the type and teaching is the type of job you can take, then maybe Extra Master is something you can consider, because it's an academic qualification job, right? So you can consider that.
I assume it was Amarpal, who was earlier an anonymous attendee, who was probably just put in his changed his name and then came in. So he's asking for a terminal job, a pilot job in Australia. How do we take it? I think the main thing over here is, how do you tap into the Australian market? Connect with us again, CN Beyond. We have a few persons who are based in Australia. We can at least connect with you. You do not need any specific enhancement, any specific courses to get a job of a pilot. At least for terminal manager, yes, you could do. And attend our webinar which we did on pilotage jobs for mariners. Sajid, what is the scope of engineers in the field of naval arc and ship design? Honestly, I don't know about this, but again, we can help you connect with the right persons who would help you in answering this job. I'm not sure if you are you could answer this, Captain Harsh.
No, I think something beyond what I said.
Sushant, sir, as we have contract-based services in shipping, how are total experiences counted? Okay, so if it is for MBA purposes, you can just write your company-based experience. So you were in this company for 5 years, irrespective of whether you were sailing or not. They will count those 5 years. That's what I did, and that's how at least my experience was counted. What is the best age to leave sailing and start looking for shores off? You would want to take this, Captain Harsh?
See, again, you are asking the same questions, right? You are asking the same question, and you are saying somebody should tell you when to leave. So this is where I think all of you are getting into stuck with that. Somebody should tell me what to do, I'm going to do it. No, that's not the point, right? I can't decide what is the age for you, right? Only you know, and that's why I said, I don't know your family situation, I don't know your financial situation, I don't know anything about it. So it's very difficult for me to tell. So there's no right or wrong age, right? And that's why I said, if you have taken the assessment, if you got an answer and the answer says you should leave shipping and come into shore, then you have to go back and look at the other options which we showed you, right? What is the family situation, what is financial situation, and based on that you can decide, right? So you're looking at all of you are saying, give me definitive answers, give me guarantees, tell me what to do. And we are trying to say, okay, your life, your family situation, your financial situation is so unique, it is not possible for one person to go and just tell you go and do that and you have to do it, right? If you want to get a better clarity, we can help you that, but for that we need to have more conversation, know more about you, know more about your background. Without that, I can't just say I know people who have left shipping in 25 years and I know people who are still selling at 60 years, right? So in between, you could fall anywhere in between. So there's no right or wrong, it is totally depending on you, really, right?
Karthik, options in chartering. Again, we did a webinar on chartering. We'll probably do another one. Do attend that, and I think, or connect with an expert. Saurabh did the last webinar. Saurabh Rathore, who's director in Braemar Shipbroking. He is on Sea and Beyond expert list. If you want to connect with him or attend the webinar, which you would do. Does MEO Class 1 has equivalency with master's degree? I don't think so. It has an equivalency with master's degree. It is with the bachelor's degree. Captain Akhil's question, with our experience in shipping, how does that fit in JD for non-maritime company? Basically, should we pursue only in shipping jobs, or we can fit in others as well, since Captain Harsh has been working with corporates, would be able to align our skills and expertise from sailing.
Again, first of all, again, Captain can look at the result of the test. Is that test telling you to remain within shipping or non-shipping? That's the first thing. If it says you can go outside shipping, that's perfectly fine, because all of us have developed enough skills which are relevant to any shore industry. A lot of the biggest skill which you typically highlight is operations management, because all of you, especially in the deck side, are operations manager. You manage operations of ship, running of ships, so operations management, risk management, people management, time management. These are the skills you've developed, right? So, and all these skills are required in any shore job. So whatever skills you learned on ship as a master or a chief engineer or any other officer, I think those are very, very relevant. Yes, in different form or shape, but basically, you know how to manage people, you know how to manage time, you know how to manage contracts, you know how to manage time. So all this, you know, right? So, and all these skills are easily transferable to any shore job. Yes, what you have to do is speak in the language of what people understand on the shore. So if you say I have navigated ships in the ocean, people may not understand. But if you will say I've routed ships, I've optimized the vessel routing, and I've saved cost, people will understand. So you have to translate your experience in the language which people understand on shore, and that's what your resume should speak, and that's what you should start speaking when you're coming on shore. I think we'll take one or two questions more. I think we are already out of time. Maybe one or two questions we can take quickly.
Sure. You mentioned distance learning, online MBA is much recognized, but if we plan to continue sitting, does the distance learning MBA help us to build a better profile over others? I think let's, Bobby will have to probably have a one-to-one chat on this, please. I think let's take this question. What's your take on the maritime startups in India? I've been following Shipscart, Portal, I know, Shipscope, I know. Do you have any views on this, Captain Harsh?
No, I think it's a great space to be in, because I've seen that in some cases shipping industry is ahead of other industry, in some cases it is behind also. So there is a big use case of building of especially technology to enable functions on ships. I know a lot of startups working in the SaaS space. I know startups working in blockchain. I know startups working in AI, in shipping, oil and gas industry, in safety on board. So there are a lot of startups working. There's big scope. What you need to do is understand what are the current pain points and challenges of the maritime sector today, and how can, if you have an idea, help that solve that problem, right? Is it documentation? It is processing? Is it safety? Is it lack of data? Is it too much data? What are the problems today which maritime sector are facing? And so there is a lot of scope. Believe me or not, there is a lot of scope as far as using technology to improve processes. And there are so many companies I know who are doing exceedingly well, or at least they have very revolutionary ideas. It's a question of how much shipping companies can adopt to that. Yes, adoption may take some time, but there's big scope, I would say.
Yeah,
okay, we'll take one last question.
I agree with you. Let me see if I can find a not so generic question, and which is what we could take. think let's take this one. What are the good ways and skills for personal growth in shore job? I'm presently working ashore in shipping company. This is from an anonymous attendee.
Again, it depends what personal growth means to you, right? I don't know what is your definition of personal growth. Do you want to have a career growth or you want to grow as a person? So it again totally depends on you, right? If you want to grow in terms of career and because you're already unsure, then the best way to go is understand the career path of your company, understand whichever level you're working today, what is the next level for you, understand from your manager what are the competencies required to develop to move to the next level and start working on that. So unfortunately, again, I don't have enough information to guide you till I have a discussion with you, because your definition of personal growth could mean very different from what I see, right? So your personal growth could mean having better relationship with your family, right? It could mean so many things, really. So it's very difficult to answer that question without knowing more about you. I think that's really it.
Yep. I'm just scanning for questions if there are any not so specific in nature. I think you had answered this, but there's one from anonymous attendee, and which Ashutosh Bhutani says, if this can be answered, does the Wheel of Life assessment cost anything?
No, the assessment you can take online, but yes, coaching session will cost, and that's where you can look. So wheel of assessment today is available online. Also, in some places you can, in some companies may charge you for that, because, and some companies also give you a free assessment for that. You can search for that. But yes, if you want to have a coaching conversation, there is a cost to it. There is a way to book a coaching session through C and Beyond. You can book that session. We can do a joint wheel of life assessment with you live, or you can do that assessment online wherever it is available free of cost and bring the results and we can discuss that. Or if you have enough clarity, once you do it online, you don't have to come for coaching conversation. See, the coaching conversation only to help understand better who you are, where you are, what are the other influencers in your life, and then help you make an informed decision, right? If you feel that enough information already you have and you can make your independent decision, you don't have to get into that. I do Wheel of Life live, so you don't need any technology. We'll do live as a live discussion with you, and that you can book through C and Beyond. Other than that, there will be enough websites which are offering this free as well.
Right, sir. I think most of the other, I think there are still about 8-9 questions which are very, very specific to each one of you. From Subranil Bera, I think let's take this is the last question, which is got 3 likes, and then probably we will stop taking questions. So he's been sailing for 21 years and 9 years as masters. His question is, please advise if 1 year at this age would be helpful for future career. Is cleared MICS and will be of any additional help for seeking next career goal. Should the MBA be of any specific course? I'm interested in from IIM Calcutta. So I think, guys, this is the last question which we will take.
So again, Subranil, look at the response you got. If your response, let's say, is gravitating in the test, right? If your response is gravitating toward, let's say, general management, you're at a fairly senior level. So I would assume that you would want to get into a senior role in a shore industry. That's what I'm just assuming. That's what your career preferences would be like. So in that case, you can join a shipping industry also directly without doing anything. But if you really want to enhance your profile, then I would strongly recommend the 1 year MBA. It really adds on to your profile because you are fairly senior person and you can actually get it at a senior role if you do an MBA. And yes, 1 year MBA we definitely recommend it for you. Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Calcutta, all these are valid options for you. You have to go back and look at. The only thing I'll say, when choosing a college, look at the colleges where people from shipping industry are joining and what sort of roles they are getting. Just do some research on that, because there could be some colleges who are able to place shippies in a better position, or their placement statistics may be slightly better when it comes to shipping versus some other colleges. So do some research, look at the placement statistics of Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Calcutta, wherever you want to do. Look at especially people from Merchant Navy who have passed out from there, what sort of jobs you got, and do that. Yes, Calcutta has a 1 year program, so you definitely can try that as well. I don't know often the statistics of marine placements from IIM Calcutta, so you have to just go and look at it. But with your profile, I think if you want to get into a senior general management role, MBA is a very good option.
All right, guys. I think we would need to stop taking the questions right now. And let me just take quick polls from you on the feedback on how do you feel the webinar went. And so there are these three questions which we have on the screen. The first is, were your expectations met, which we had basically, with which you registered for the webinar? How would you rate the session? Would it be average, good, excellent? And did you find the duration of the session appropriate? Um, so, and just what we wanted to give you is a means of for you to understand which fields would be best for you. And that was what we wanted to have this webinar for. It was very difficult to answer a question which is specific to yourselves, to all the 90 participants in a webinar. We can have, and it doesn't have to be paid, you can have a one-to-one or just write an email to CN Beyond, and we can probably help you in answering those questions as well if some of your questions were not answered. So let me, most of you, about 92% of you have answered. Let me end the poll and let me share the results with you. Were your expectations met? About 80% of you say it was met. About 63% of you feel it was good, and about 25% of you feel the session was excellent, and 12% of you thought it was average, and yeah, 88% of you feel the session was the duration was appropriate. So yes, guys, thanks a lot. Thanks for attending the webinar. Appreciate the time that you have spent. If again repeat, a few of your questions have not been answered. So there are 2 or 3 things that you could do to get the answers of these questions. A, if it is about your career, if you want to have a better understanding on how to proceed, if you were not unclear through the test that you gave where you would want to go, book a session one-to-one with Captain Harsh, right? If you want to know about a particular field, okay, if you say want to know about MBA, or because most of the questions today were about MBA, or if you want to know about chartering, you can either attend a webinar, which we have done. You could probably ask for a recording. If we have, we will share it with you. If not, we can do another webinar for you. Or better would be if you talk to that expert one-to-one. And those experts are there on the CN Beyond website as well. If you want to do any courses as such, because there were a few questions on the courses on MBA or shipping related courses, you can again connect with CN Beyond. It's education@CN Beyond. You can write to us. We have a separate vertical now in which will serve this education questions for the marinas as such. So that's my suggestion to all of you. Thank you for your time. Closing words from you, Captain Harsh, and I'll request all of you to probably write down your comments, areas of improvements where you suggest CN Beyond could improve, and we'll keep that open for a while. Some closing words from you, Captain Harsh.
No, I think it's a great interaction with all of you actually. I hope that you found this useful. Again, the idea was to give you more direction, more clarity. And also wherever you've not had clarity, you should go, and I would strongly recommend go and take that online test. You connect with CN Beyond, they'll send you the link. Go and take that test, and then get more clarity. Wherever you need help, connect with us. We can help and guide you. But yeah, thank you for taking time out. But just be very, very clear that look, your specific situations we cannot answer until you understand that, right? While some of you may say, okay, please tell me the answer, and wherever you need definitive answers, we have to get into more detail to understand what you want, where you are in life, and then help you and recommend things, right? So that's the next level of discussion which is required for all of you, right? Wherever you don't have clarity, where you have clarity, obviously that's a great spot to be in. But yeah, thank you for taking time off on a Saturday afternoon, and I wish you all the very best. Let's stay in touch. Please connect on LinkedIn, follow us, and look out for more such informative webinars from See and Beyond. Thank you.
Thank you, Captain Hirsch. And just seeing Captain Hirsch's background, I mean, the chess pieces on the wall, it just reminded me that we are hosting a chess tournament next Saturday, which will be in the morning, 10 o'clock. We'll start that webinar. We'll start that chess tournament. It's an online tournament. All of you, all the persons connected with shipping and their families, you can attend that, you'll participate that tournament. I look forward to Captain Hirsch, your son, attending.
I'm going to shift the camera. You can see a lot of trophies there.
Wow.
All these chess trophies actually for him.
Okay. Great.
Okay, cool. Take care.
Okay.
Take care.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.